everybody. My name's Craig.
I'm Brian.
I'm Burke.
And I'm Michelle.
And this is Get Dunked On, the podcast.
Never want to dance again. This guilty feet have got no reason. Oh, killed it.
That was
It was something, right? It was something.
That really was an intro.
and let's do the exit now, please.
Because I think we just got dunked out.
Yeah.
Play the end music.
Roll credits.
But the thing is, okay.
Oh my god.
It's sad, but that actually probably was one of the better parts of my day today. It's like just like even that pour of singing, because I spent like hours on the phone with customer service. And if you guys have ever done this before, you know my pain. Okay. And the worst part it wasn't even for something that it wasn't even something for something that was mine. So let me set the stage for you real quick. I had got a call from my grandmother, who has a lot of trouble with computers because she's just, not from that generation, right? She says, oh, hey, I have all these Kohl's rewards things. I'm supposed to send it to my email. You had originally set me up with the email. Can you check it out for me? I said, yeah, sure, of course. I mean, it's my grandma, right? I would do anything for her. So I go on there and I look. I go, well, they're not there. Okay, well, I'll go to the store and we'll get it worked out. Couple hours later, I get a call from the store from her at Kohl's, and then they're like, "Hi, we're here with your grandma," and I'm like, "Okay," and they're like, "Can you log into her email and check it?" I'm like, "Yes, hold on," and I check it. Oh, nope, not there. They go, "Oh, okay. Well, what we need you to do is call this number, this 1-800." I'm like, "Wait, how am I involved in this?"
Oh my god.
And so fast forward, about 15 minutes later, after getting a detailed explanation and a bunch of like passcode numbers that I needed to like get through like their like firewall, some bullshit, I don't know. Point is that I go, okay, I make the call, I press all the right prompts, I end up talking to some guy that I know for a fact was from India. That's not just like an assumption. They actually it was India. And I'm sitting there talking to the guy and I'm like, look, I just need to get her email, like on the account, changed to the correct email. I think it's an old one. Ooh, is she right there? No, here's her number. You can call her to confirm this, and then you can call me back. Oh, no, sir, we can't do that. Oh, why not? Well, because we don't make outbound calls here. They have to come in unless you can teleconference her in. I'm like, I can't teleconference her in. I'm like, she's a flip phone, for God's sake. She's not going to teleconference at anything here. So the long and short of it is, I spend hours with these people just trying to be like, hey, I just want to help my grandmother with this thing. And they're like, ooh, that's not my department. Let me transfer you again. Let me do this. None. It's still unresolved. I'm going to have to drive about 20-30 minutes to go to her place tomorrow, just so I can literally hand the phone to the guy for 2 seconds so she can say, oh, hi, yes, he has authorization. Great. Can we keep moving? Like, I'm so frustrated. Like, it's been one of those types of days.
Oh,
I
wow.
hate that feeling. It used to be that way a lot with my parents. Whenever anything would go wrong, I was the person that had to fix it,
Yep.
right? And for the longest time, I committed fraud in so many different ways because my dad was like, "Just say you're me. I don't care.
Yes.
Here's all the information. Yes. Say you're me. Say you're the one doing it, because then we don't have to do this back and forth thing." And so that's what it was for a while, until he learned that you could do like authorization for different people. And I swear to God, every single account he's ever had since then, I constantly get forms in. Hey, can you sign this digitally and send it back? I need to authorize you, so if anything goes wrong, you can fix it. I'm like, dear Lord.
Oh my goodness.
So
it's everything's right along that line.
he signed you up.
That's funny. So yesterday I got an email from, I guess, my sister-in-law, and she was like, hey, I have this antivirus that I just repurchased and I need to apply the license to it. Well, I can't do it. For some reason, it's not working. I'm like, oh, crap. I was like, well, first of all, why? Why do you have this bloated software? But I was, okay. All right. I'll get past that. And then goes on. She calls their whatever service desk support line. The guy connects to her computer, ends up like pulling up some weird list saying her computer hasn't been updated in over 3 months, which is why he can't install, everything. So I was like, okay, give me 15 minutes. So I ended up calling her, doing a screen share session, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I look at Windows updates, and it's been updated for about a week. I'm like, or it was updated a week ago. It's like, okay, sure, sounds good. Let's not it's updated. Let's check your actual antivirus program. Look at it, click on it. I'm like, there's this button. It's called subscription. I click subscription, and there's of course buy. I'm like, no. I go confirm conscription. Conscription. She's
she's joined
Confirm the prescriptions, doctor.
The conscription prescription.
Oh my goodness. Confirm.
Nurse, I need a prescription.
Nurse, I need a Navy man now.
Wow. Oh, Lord. All right. So I click confirm. Let's just go. I click confirm, and guess what? It goes out to the internet and activates. She spent, I think, an hour on the phone with this guy saying, "Oh, we'll charge you $120 an hour to come back and to fix your computer."
What? They want to charge her for that?
Yeah, and it took me 15 minutes to do it. Yeah,
I mean, I was inconvenienced, but that's a scam.
Oh yeah, it really was a scam. I was like, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
My uncle recently got scammed by I say recently, but it was like last winter. Basically, it was one of those ones. Hi, this is Microsoft calling about your PC, and he's like, and they're like, because he never uses it, and he's like, and they're like, yeah, well, basically, your computer, it's running really slow. We're updating all the ones in the area. Can you just give us this information about the PC and we'll go ahead and just do it remotely? Sure. Next thing you know, the guy hacked in, stole everything off his computer, bricked it basically, and he's like, oh, and it turns out it was part of a huge networking scam last winter. Like it was.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a big deal around here.
I remember. This is going off a little bit further away from what the original thing was, but it was about 3-4 years ago. I got the call, and this was, I think, earlier on in this process. I got the call saying, "Hi, we're with the IRS," and it was a call from Texas.
Damn it, Texas!
Calling me, yeah, damn it, Texas. It was a call from Texas. Coming in saying, "Hi, we're with the IRS, and we want to let you know that you've done some whatever bad things, and you owe us money." And I was like, "What? That doesn't make any sense." First of all, you called me from Texas. Why isn't my local field office calling me, if somebody, or the national one? I don't understand why someone way off in Texas would get this one. He's like, "Well, they just go anywhere." I was like, I don't know. That might be true, but I don't know. That was first thing. And afterwards, he's like, "Can I just have your social security number so we can verify who you are?" I was like, "Can I have your badge ID number so I know who you are? Because I don't necessarily trust you either." He's like, I just need you to give me your social security number, and we'll be able to fix this right up. You'll be able to pay your money over, and we'll be all right. And I was like, again, can I have your name, and I need your employee ID number, and I need more verification, because I'm going to look you up, and then I'll call you back if you're the real deal. And he's like, "Oh, well, just here." And he gave me a series of numbers. I was like, this is a random set of numbers that he just gave me.
1,
I know this for a fact.
3,
Hamburger Lane.
Yeah. He gave me this stuff, and I was like, okay. All right. Well, do you also know that it's the IRS has to legally send you documentation to your mailing address first before they contact you via the phone, if they can even contact you via the phone? Click. I was like, well.
Yeah, I've heard of people falling for that scam too, and like it's gotten worse because it's gotten to the point where like, and I don't know how people would believe this either. Like I can almost see how someone might believe that they screwed up their taxes and like fall for a call like that. But the scam that was happening recently was they would call and they'd be like, "Oh, you owe us $2,000. Can you pay it in iTunes gift cards?" And I'm like, why would you ever think that the IRS would want iTunes gift cards? And so many people fell for it.
Wow. iTunes gift cards.
Yeah, so they would buy them and give them the serial numbers off the gift cards, and then they'd be like, "Okay, yeah, it's paid off, you're good." And then it's like, and then they realize
you need to pay off your IRS debt. Hi, we need you to pay off your IRS debt. Can you pay us in YouTube Red subscription fees?
Wow.
What is happening?
Yeah, so I was
You
just
walk
like,
into eBay.
like I said, I could almost see how somebody might be paranoid about the IRS in general, but when it gets to the point where they're like, yeah, pay it in iTunes gift cards, why would you ever believe that?
That's just absolutely ridiculous, man.
You know, okay, worst one I ever heard, and kind of tying it back to my grandma there. So one of her friends, they had this scam going on where one of her friends, who, once again, like an older woman, who just, she's just a vulnerable older lady, and they promised her a car. Okay. And the deal was that like this guy claimed that he was like, he gets all these like Cadillacs, but he gets them like off of the boat or whatever. And they're like ridiculously cheap. And all you had to do is pay like the handling fee and you get this car. Right. So she says to my grandmother, "Hey, can you drop me off on this corner? I need to wait there." And she goes, "For what?" She goes, "Oh, my new car. I'm getting a new Cadillac. Didn't I tell you?" And she tells my grandma about this whole thing. My grandma goes, "That's a scam." Like, like she's like, "No," like she's no. It can't be a scam. I gave him $11,000. It's not a scam at all. I'm about to get a new Cadillac. And this woman went to the corner and waited there for like a whole day. And sure enough, no one came. Because they took $11,000 from an old woman, it's like letting her think that she was getting a Cadillac. That was dirty. Like that was the worst scam I'd heard of in a long time.
That's pretty bad.
One of the reasons that I've had my grandma on my mind quite a bit today is because of our topic, which aside from the helping her, is our topic is Thanksgiving, and I spend every
I'm the only one that cheers for Thanksgiving.
Our topic isn't elderly people.
Scams and the elderly. How it affects you.
I wrote the wrong quiz, guys.
BRB crossing off quiz.
How many elderly are scammed each month? Yeah. Bonus points.
What's the GDP of the scam?
Oh my god. But yeah, as I said, I spend every Thanksgiving at her place there, and this is her 50th year, so it's kind of a big deal. This is kind of like her grand finale of like having Thanksgiving at her place, and next year we're going to go to somebody else's house because it's just getting to be that time, a little too much for her. But I have nothing but good memories and things to say about Thanksgiving, so I'm excited for today.
I remember Thanksgiving, and this is gonna. I don't know if this isn't necessarily the right foot to start this off on. Thanksgiving is one of the things it's funny to me because it's the first time I remember they're like thinking the idea of there's video games outside of my house, because I went over to my, for the lack of a better term and easier terms, it was my aunt and uncle's house. We'll just say that, though it's like second 2 times removed aunt and uncle type thing.
Gotcha.
We went over to their house every single year for Thanksgiving, and it was the first time I had ever known that video games existed outside of my own house. I went down into their basement, and my uncle showed me his computer that he had, and I don't even remember exactly what it is. I'm assuming I remember what it is. I want to say it was Wolfenstein 3D was the game that he had on the computer. I could be wrong on the exact one, but this is early on in my video game career, as I'll put it, where I'm talking first or second grade or something like that, around 6, 7, 8 years old. And I didn't really ever think about there being video games outside of my house because like none of my friends had any video games. I was the only one that had them. And so I'd never experienced video games outside of my own house. And then he was showing me this, and I remember sitting there trying to play, and I was terrible at it because I didn't get the concept of like walking around and shooting people.
Yeah,
I'd never had a game like I was used to platformers, and I was used to like sports games. So that was about it. And so it was just a completely foreign thing. And I remember I came back the next year, and I'm sure somebody said something because one, it was Wolfenstein, and I was like 7. And the fact that I stayed down there the entire day and played that game. The next time I came around, it was like, yep, nope, computer's not down there. And I went down, and the computer's right there. And I didn't know how to like start it up or do anything. And I didn't want to break anything at the time. So I didn't attempt it. But I remember that was the first time that I remember that video games existed outside of my own house.
It's so interesting that the first thing that you think of when we go like, oh, let's talk about Thanksgiving, you're like, boy, video games are cool. And I was like, I mean, yeah, it's amazing.
I have a ton of video game memories like about Thanksgiving because I remember Ocarina of
Really?
Time. I remember getting really excited because that's when I noticed that it's actually right here on my desk right here. When I first saw somebody was selling an ocarina online. And so like it's not very good. It's really small, but like an actual ocarina, and it sits on my desk right now. And I bought it then. I bought it in 1996, 1997, whenever Thanksgiving was, when that had been out for a year.
Probably the toward the end of November on a Thursday.
Yeah. I just meant because I didn't get Ocarina of Time till Christmas of the year that it released, which was what, 96 in the US? Was it 96 in the North America, or is it 97?
Shoot.
I thought it was like 98.
Is it 98? So maybe it was 99. So whatever year it was, it wasn't that year. It was the next year. So whatever year it released, the next November, they had it out there. And I got the ocarina, and it stays with me. So I literally have a lot of video game memories. I sat upstairs once in my own room and I played Metal Gear Solid 2. I never played the first one and I haven't played any of the other ones, but I played and beat the entirety of Metal Gear Solid 2 on Thanksgiving one year because there wasn't really much else going on. And so I just kind of sat up there and I just played that after like we got done talking and eating and everybody else was watching football games. I was like, I'm going to go play Metal Gear Solid.
By the way, it's 98.
98. So it was 99 when I bought that thing.
Wow. I mean, like it's funny because like that is pretty much one of the few times that I would say that video games were not involved at all for me. It was a very like tradition based thing in the sense that like literally my entire life, we've gone to my grandmother's house on Thanksgiving. We show up there, you sit down, you watch football, you eat way too much, of course. So you sit down and you eat hors d'oeuvres while watching the football game. You eat the real meal. We shoot pool in the basement, and then you have another dessert that you don't eat, and then you go home. Like that. That's like, but it's like I make it sound like it's like a routine, but it's a very enjoyable routine. It's the only way I can put it.
What, Brian? Enjoying
it just feels
routine?
right. Well, the thing is like it's like anything else, right? Like when it comes to those types of holidays, when specifically Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're very family oriented and they kind of have their own like set of rules, if that makes any sense. Like 4th of July, you can celebrate it any which way you want, right? Maybe you go to a buddy's barbecue, maybe you have a barbecue, maybe you don't do that. You just go on a boat and you shoot off fireworks, but like you can do whatever you want. But like those ones tend to have like set patterns and routines. And it doesn't make them bad. It just means like it's just something that you like. I don't know. It makes it feel a little bit more like oh, this is home. You know what I mean? This is what I'm used to. This is what it's been since I've been a little kid. That's the best way I can describe it, I guess.
As everybody else's Thanksgiving, does it feel pretty routine in terms of what you do every year?
Yes and no. For me, growing up, it kind of was. We would go to my grandmother's house, but the adults would be cooking, watching football, and we had Thanksgiving early. Like we would eat at like 1:00. But my cousins and I would all huddle in my grandmother's bedroom with her NES because she had more NES games than the rest of us. And I mean, there would be like 15 of us crowding on her bed in one chair playing NES games for the holidays. So I kind of have both in terms of that. And now that I'm an adult, I pretty much do the same thing every year because I just go somewhere if anyone's having a Thanksgiving dinner that I know, and then I go to work.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm sorry. And actually, Michelle, you're the one who made me think of this. So I want to ask you about this first. Does anybody here watch the parade? Like the parades, plural? Any of them? Any of the parades?
Not really.
No.
Like, I think they would have it on the TV, but it was like no one was really paying attention.
My family would have it on the TV at times. I made it a point to make sure I was not in the same room.
Okay, question. Was it the Macy's Day Parade or was it America's Parade, aka the one that is held in Detroit?
It would always be the Macy's Parade for my family.
Macy's Day Parade.
I couldn't have told you which one they had up. Each one is equally as possible.
Okay, because this is something that I literally was going to forget about had Michelle not prompted it like this. for like the morning of, we always at my house we set up the or my parents' house, they set up the Christmas tree right on Thanksgiving morning, and while watching the parade. But the kicker is right, and as a kid, we always watched the Detroit parade, which is America's Thanksgiving Day parade or whatever. I had no idea as a kid that there was the Macy's Day parade until I got older. And then I was like, what the hell is this? And I would go back and forth between them. The Detroit parade, all the balloons are busted and faded and ratty. like Santa like is my favorite thing to watch at the Detroit parade, because I swear to God, this is true, hand to God, he's been drunk and he's fallen out of the he fell out of the sleigh one year. The best, he gives a speech to the city of Detroit just like he does in the Macy's Day one, except for our Santa is awful, and he gives uninspiring speeches where he like it's 99% of the speeches for the past 10 years is Detroit will come back, ho ho ho, my favorite city, oh, don't worry, it's gonna be okay. But in 2008, the greatest speech of all time was given. The market had crashed, everybody's in the shitter, everyone's jobless. Santa gets up there with a sobering speech and face and says, kids, don't expect much under the Christmas tree this year. Things are bad. They're really bad. And I'm like, holy shit, Santa said no Christmas for kids. And
Wow.
and that is a real thing that happened. You can look it up. It was amazing. Oh, I'm sorry. I got so
Wow.
excited to tell that story.
It's tough because we didn't really have too much tradition for Thanksgiving. It was always kind of a fly by the seat of your pants type thing. Well, I mean, not slide completely, but when I was up until about, I would say 10, 11, 12, 13, right around that time. I know that's a big range, but I don't remember exactly. I had to have been at least 13 because it was 1999. So it was a little around there. That's when the house that we were at all the time, she got really sick and we couldn't do it there anymore. And so like since then, so like to me, it feels like the majority of my life, it's every year. It's like, okay, where are we going this year? Are we doing anything with the family this year, or is there too much going on? And so it's always been like a bounce around. We had it at our place for a couple years. We went to a couple other places throughout the years. And it's always felt like a bounce around type holiday. The only thing that's usually somewhat connected is my dad always wants to try and go to a movie that day. That's about the only thing that kind of stays on it, but it usually doesn't happen because they're wanting to the family will stay too late at our house, or we stay too late at somebody else's house, and because they're watching the football game or whatever. But yeah, my dad loves going to movies on Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's interesting. I mean, that's his
like
own
that,
thing,
actually.
I guess,
Yeah, he just loves going. He's like, let's get the whole family together and we're all going to a movie. Like, you paying? All right.
I mean, there's one thing you can count
Nice.
on Thanksgiving, Craig, and that is that the Detroit parade will have Captain Underpants still flying strong with his broken ass plunger. That is the best. Please, America, watch that parade. You'll laugh your ass off. Captain Underpants from the book series when we were in the 90s, they went all in on a Captain Underpants balloon. The series lasted for a little while and was not a huge success after the first year of its release, but the balloon flies every year and it's half deflated and the plunger doesn't stay up. It's fucking awesome.
Brian just loves watching that train
Wow.
wreck, man.
Yeah, he really
Absolutely
does.
loves watching that train
I
wreck.
go back and forth between the really, like, I shit you not, the Macy's one has backflips and like Rent playing and like real musicals, and then I go back and it's like, oh, here comes the high school marching band.
Brian is losing
He's
it
like
right now.
dying over there.
Wow.
I cry.
What is going on?
I cry. Every Thanksgiving is the funniest shit you've ever seen. And the announcers don't care. It's like watching like Ken Brockman where the announcers get up there and go, oh, and here comes Captain Underpants again. They don't give two fucks. It's the best. I'm sorry.
Oh my
Please start
God.
talking. I'm dying.
I don't know how to follow that.
Tell us about your traditions, man, for God's sake.
Oh my God. So I don't know. Kind of traditions are, we do different stuff every year. Like for example, this year my parents are going on a cruise, and with my grandparents, so all the family in town. So I don't even have any family to have a Thanksgiving with this year. So yeah,
Boom, boom, boom.
that was my Thanksgiving last year. Sarah and I literally like she was still working like crazy. I had a ton of work that week as well, and so we came down and we're like, we're not going to have any time to like start preparing food. And so we went to a local restaurant and just bought their like Thanksgiving platter type thing that you go in there and you pick it up on the day of Thanksgiving, you bring it back home. Hey, Thanksgiving dinner, boys.
Yeah. So I mean, like for us, I guess the Macy's Day Parade was always on the TV in the morning, and my mom would always watch it, and probably my sister too. But I would always, I don't know, do probably stuff outside and work on projects because it's just what we did. Like I remember, I guess last Thanksgiving or Thanksgiving before, like the whole family was in, so we built a fence at my dad's house on Thanksgiving Day, and that was a lot of fun. But like what I remember is we'd always have lunch around 2:00, 3:00, or dinner at 2:00, 3:00 in the afternoon, and it would never just be my family. It would be friends, family, and we didn't have the biggest house, but there would be, I don't know, 25, 30, 40 people, depending on the year, at our house that we would just have Thanksgiving for. And it was a lot of fun because you never knew who would show up.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, or it would sometimes it'd be at my grandparents' house too, and now it's been at my house too, when my extended family lived here or on my wife's side. But yeah, we never know what it's going to be like until a few weeks before, and then it'll be, yeah, come over, let's have food. It's kind of it's fun. And I know, Brian, you would probably cringe. I didn't even know there was an NFL football game on like Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, until probably college, maybe after that, because we just never watched football.
The Lions always play on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I learned that probably living with Craig.
Well, so do the Cowboys too.
I know,
and that's Texas.
Yeah, fuck the Cowboys. So, but yeah, like I never even knew it because I knew it was played on Sunday and Monday sometimes. But yeah,
there's never been a Thanksgiving where my family did not have the Lions football game on, and there's been very few Thanksgivings throughout my entire life where they went home happy watching a Lions football game on Thanksgiving.
Why is that?
Because
I'm just
traditionally the Lions haven't been very good in the past 30 years. There's been some decent ones, but
we don't talk about the dark times, aka the past 30 years.
Yeah, you go back to about 1993 and 4. It's not been very good since then. Hasn't been a lot of wins.
Hey, once upon a time it was fun though.
Yeah, there was. Yeah. So what about the foods that everybody likes to eat? Is there some special food that one of your family members brings that you just can't wait for every single year, or something that is every single year?
Kermit on the Highway.
What?
Kermit on the Highway. That's what I look forward to every year.
What?
Kermit on the Highway.
Yes,
it sounds terrible.
It sounds like frog roadkill.
Well, that's the joke. Is that it's like a marshmallow salad thing where it's like, I don't know, it's called marshmallow salad, but it's basically made with marshmallows. It's green and it has like stuff in it. I don't know what exactly it is. I don't know. It just has marshmallows as the primary ingredient in this thing. It's like a dessert type item.
You can tell that Brian is not the chef in his family.
But it's green.
Yeah, it's green, and that's why the joking term for it has always been Kermit on the Highway. I'll look it up. It's
a pistachio.
Oh wait, what is it?
It's like a pistachio marshmallow salad, something like that.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
I've never heard it called that.
Me either.
But I've seen it before.
Yeah, that's what it is, though.
I'm gonna have to look it up. Green marshmallow salad. I'm looking that one up. Watergate salad.
That's the one. Watergate
called.
Salad. That's what it's actually called. You got it. That's what I said when I said Kermit on the Highway.
Yeah. Wow, Brian.
Hey, that's what I
Kermit on the Highway.
I think it's a funny ass name. That's what we called it when we were kids, and I was like, yeah, this is what it is now.
Wow. Yeah. So for me, I don't know. We always had, let's be from the South, cheese grits and ham. Always the best.
Yep, you're from the South.
Yep. Yeah. But my favorite thing, but we always had these on Sunday dinners after church as well. But my grandmother's rolls, crescent rolls that she would make from scratch. Oh my goodness. And she still makes them. They are phenomenal and so healthy for you.
No butter involved.
None, no sugar. They're sweet, but not too sweet. Oh, they're just like, it's so funny. Like she'll sell them, like take them to like bake sales and all this. And if anyone has had them before, they sell out just so fast, and she'll make so much money on them for whatever. That's awesome. They're the best things ever.
I'm trying to think. I can think of ones for every other holiday that I know that's when people make only that. But I think for Thanksgiving, it's all just traditional for my family. Like, we would split it up and each person would bring one of the dishes. Like, my grandma didn't make all of it. But, I mean, we just had, like, all the traditional Thanksgiving things. I can't think of anything that was like, oh, yeah, it's Thanksgiving, I'm definitely going to get this, outside of the same things everybody else has, the turkey, potatoes, and all that.
I was predicting Michelle to say, like, all the usual stuff. Turkey, it's a turkey, Watergate salad, haggis. What was the last one? It's like
roasted goat.
For me, it ends up being something that's kind of stupid. In a way, every single year, it used to be, it's not anymore. But for the longest time, whenever we had any get together for Christmas or Thanksgiving, the thing that would always happen is my mom would make these homemade chocolate chip cookies. And they were extremely good. Yum. Probably just as good as any other chocolate chip cookie, but we never really had a lot of cookies or anything like that in our house growing up. And so whenever those came around, and of course she's making 400 billion of them because you're taking them over to a family's for a family event. So it was always great because the night before, you just gorge on cookies when you're not supposed to be taking them. And of course, like when I was younger, I was trying to be clever and take them off where you wouldn't notice they're being taken off, except for the fact that she's cooling them on like not saran wrap. What's the tinfoil? And so you take the cookie off and there's clearly a mark right there going, yeah, there was a cookie gone. And there's like 4 in a row because I would just constantly sneak by and grab them. And then to the point where I got older, I started messing with her, and I'd take one from the middle of she'd put them out in like rows and columns, and I'd take one from the middle. So there's like definitely just a gap there, and I'd start just randomly taking them, and she'd start yelling at me. She's like, "Greg, stop taking these!"
Well, yeah,
some men just want to watch the world burn.
And then you'd go there, and I'd have the cookies and whatnot. I really liked. Somebody always makes the pumpkin pie. I really like pumpkin pie, and so I eat that. And the cookies aren't even my favorite thing then. I'm not a big fan of the cookies while I'm at Thanksgiving dinner. I'm loving the cookies because we go back home and we have like stacks of 300 of these things. And it's just cookie central for the next like 4 days. It is absolutely beautiful. So that's probably my favorite food item during the holidays is that. This year, completely different. My mom, it's just going to be my parents and me and Sarah for Thanksgiving. Everybody else is elsewhere. And so it's going to be us 4. My mom goes, I'm not cooking for 4 people. I will buy you guys dinner. We will do something that way.
Well, let me ask you a question about the cookies, though. This is a preference question. Cookies, where do you store them? Like when you bring them home?
My mouth?
No.
That's a very good storage place.
Hold on. This is a serious question.
I don't scroll away cookies.
Tupperware?
In some form
so
of.
Do you do Tupperware, but do you do it like just Tupperware?
Not
like
in the fridge, no.
That's what I was getting
Not
at.
in the fridge.
If that's what you're getting at, no. By no means. Cold cookies are bad cookies.
No, I love cold cookies. Like any cookie.
Brian's kicked out of the podcast.
You're
I disagree
off the podcast,
with this too.
dude.
What? No, cookies, candy bars, it all belongs in the fridge, people.
No, my wife does that, and we have a fight about it every single time. We're probably going to get divorced because of all the
cookies
Halloween
are the
candy
best
we have to
warm.
keep moving. Yes.
No, I mean they're either good fresh out of the oven or cold, but not in between.
So not cold. They taste like fucking Nabisco cookies at that point, where you have to, you're breaking your teeth on them when you're trying to bite into them.
When I get Nabisco cookies, I microwave them.
No,
I really do.
And then have a nice ice cold glass of milk.
If your food isn't fighting back, what's the point?
So do you keep Oreos in the fridge too?
I don't actually ever have Oreos, so that's a good question.
Okay, you're off the podcast again.
I like Oreos. I just never have them. Like,
so you know what? I'm not showing up next week because I can't take this right now.
Yeah. So for me, when I make homemade chocolate chip cookies, they're lucky if they actually make it to the oven. Just because I love the dough that much.
Same.
Okay, yeah, I'll eat that. I'm down for
Okay,
that.
I'm off the podcast then because I cannot stand cookie dough.
Man.
Are you kidding
Like,
me?
You're missing
Brian,
out.
that right there, and it's not the fear of getting sick, but probably roughly the same feeling you get when you look at chicken and you're wondering if it's undercooked. I have that same thing where it just doesn't taste that great to me, and I'm like, I feel like I'm eating something raw, and this feels wrong.
It could bother me less. There's times where I'm like, I like cake batter too, so like I'll get cake batter and make it, and then I'm like, I should probably bake a cake, but I don't, and I just sit there and kind of lick the cake batter.
I do that with brownie mix too.
She's
yeah.
looking
Nope.
at.
Yep.
Wait, brownie
Absolutely.
mix?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
Absolutely no.
Hold on.
Yep.
Oh, brownie
Yeah.
A
mix?
whole lot of
I
no
love
in
it.
one little sentence. A whole lot of no.
Wait, time out. I've never heard of that. You can actually eat brownie mix like that?
I don't know if you're supposed to, but I
it's
do
got
it.
raw egg in it, so you're not supposed to, but I do
Well,
anyway.
obviously, but hey, if it's good enough for Rocky, it's good enough for me. But
Damn
the point
straight.
is that I didn't realize that you could actually do brownie mix like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like I've heard of cake batter and I've heard of the cookie dough. I've never heard brownie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I like brownie mix better than cake batter.
Oh my god! I
You all disgust me.
if you eat that and then you go into a sauna, all of a sudden you're like, holy shit! Like your stomach's expanding.
Yes, that is how it works, Brian.
That exactly. It's science, folks. Oh my god. Well, all right. So I won't even ask about the football question because to Burke, because I know that he didn't watch it. But Craig, did you ever go to the alumni game thing that they have or that they had here?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I was just okay. Then I won't even go into it. I'll let you get on with it then. But it was just one of those things where they held a football game here at I'd say back in Michigan, at our local school that was for basically people who graduated to come out onto the field and play a football game with no pads and just hit each other out in the snow, and it was really painful, but it was also fun.
Snow?
And somebody went to the hospital every year. Our old high school.
That sounds absolutely terrible.
Yes. Oh, someone always went to the hospital.
That sounds terrible. I've got a question, and this is the first time of the year that I feel like it happens because the other holidays that you would get together for in a calendar year, you've got what's the first holiday that you get together for as a family?
Like, are you talking about like as a? Well, I mean, okay. Aside from New Year's, you're saying like after New Year's.
Okay, yeah, not New Year's. That I consider that
Easter. Then
you start
Easter,
the party.
yeah.
There. Okay, so there's Easter. All right, there's Easter. That might be the first one, but I never remember about the Easter one because we don't do like a Easter thing at people's houses. So I'm wrong in that one. But for me, the first one of the year, because the 4th of July, if you do it with family or if you do it with other people, the night kind of concludes because the fireworks went off. It's late. Maybe you've got school or work the next morning or whatever it happens to be. Everybody kind of trickles out at that point. And there's not too much. For me, Thanksgiving was always the year where it had the most awkward goodbyes, where there's that one family member or one family that doesn't want to leave your house. Or you're trying to find an excuse to be like, well, we're going to be on our way to go do something else besides sit around with you guys the whole time. Because whenever it's at some family's house and you're not really wanting to be there with the remaining guests because it's part of families that you're not always wanting to be around. Does anybody else have that where there's that awkward almost every year? You have this awkward like time of when to leave and when not to leave?
I don't, because my family's very small, and as I said, it's very tradition based, and there's always like the moment of like, all right, we've consumed all the food. We've shot the pool game. Everyone's kind of giving each other the nod, like, well, time to be hitting the old dusty trail. You killed it again, Nana. That's what we call my grandma's Nana. And it's like, and that's it. So no, I haven't personally.
Yeah, it's usually not like that for us too, because while we have friends over and whatnot, but because we did like 2:00 in the afternoon, 3:00 or something like that, like, everyone will stay, play games, work on a project, do something. And then, as soon as sun starts to set, they'll either eat more food and then leave. But usually the only people who are left are like the family members who we actually enjoy talking to.
Yeah, I don't have that either because I'm that person who just doesn't want to leave. I am that family member who's like, hey, you want to still hang out?
Okay, so I'm the one that's trying to kick Michelle out or trying to leave Michelle. And it's not all family members. There's certain family members that you're like, you know what, we can hang out for a long time and we're having fun. This is good. But as some of you might know, I am a little bit different than a lot of my family. And so there's a lot of things that start getting on when you're getting further and further into a family event. People are talking and debating things and just going over general stuff. And you're like, I really kind of want to leave right now because I really don't want to be a part of this. And so I've always had that where it's almost every Thanksgiving, if you've got like family members there, there's times where our whole family's like, hey, can you leave? Because we need to like clean up the house and move on with our life. Like Thanksgiving's basically over. Or, I'm trying to find excuses to try and get my family to leave, or my family's trying to find a good excuse of like, hey, do you have like a project due on Monday or something you have to go do now? Like there's always those things that we're not actively trying to get away from them, but we're actively trying to get away from them.
You're a mean
type
one,
stuff.
Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, so I guess I'm alone on that one, but I didn't know if anybody else had that where you've got the family members, but you're not always on par seeing eye to eye with them. So about 2 to 3 hours worth of being with them is about all you need for the next, because you're gonna have to see them again in 1 month anyway. So I guess I'm alone on that one.
Okay, like the thing is that like, and this is during Christmas time, I do like a separate, like, or 2 separate kind of Christmas things, and on one of them, I'm kind of like, I used to talk about the black sheep kind of thing, but like there's like the little cousins, the kids that want to play video games, and I sit and play with them, so like the time goes by fast. But like if I had to be like upstairs with the adults, I don't think I could sit there that whole time. I'd find a reason to. I'd be like,
yeah, I think part of it for me too is like as a kid, like, I loved being with my family for the holidays, and my family was big enough where it was like if someone was irritating, there's 57 other people to talk to. But since I've become an adult, I actually don't make very many of the holiday gatherings. So I don't have that problem, because for me, it's like I see most of my family on the 4th of July, and that's about it.
Yeah, so you get to roll in like a rock star.
Yeah, and then I'm like, hey, see you next year. Peace out.
Awesome. I love realizing I'm the asshole. Perfect.
You're a mean one.
All right, Craig, speaking of being the asshole, are you ready to lose a Thanksgiving quiz?
Oh, wait, don't say that.
out.
Don't say that. Every time you say that, he wins.
Yay! Greg's gonna lose.
I'm secretly
Stop
trying to help
saying
him out.
He has the advantage this week, unfortunately, too, since he is going last.
But then again, if you take the number 11 away from him, he'll have no ammo.
True.
For those of you who haven't cracked the code yet.
In case you haven't known.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
All right, so I have a thing of just weird Thanksgiving facts that or not all weird, but just Thanksgiving facts, and I turn them into questions. Some of them are number questions, some of them are not, so it won't rely entirely on that.
Okay, well, that's all right. So I like I like them all. I got this one in the bag. I'm trying Craig method.
So the first question here. In 1953, Swanson overestimated the number of frozen turkeys that it would sell on Thanksgiving by 26 tons. This led to the creation of what item?
Okay, the order this week is, I believe, I'm first.
Yes.
Okay. The item, easy, the turducken.
Wow. So they oversold turkeys. Is that correct?
No, they thought they were going to sell a bunch of turkeys, and then they had 26 tons of turkey left. So then they had to do something with it.
Ground turkey. Like ground turkey, beef, or meat. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Turkey burgers.
Okay, you are all incorrect. It's actually the TV dinner. So they took all the extra turkey, chopped it all up, put it in the packages, and sent it out and created the TV dinner.
They flash froze all the Thanksgiving turkeys, and now we all have TV dinners. Huh.
Yeah, from 1953.
Yeah, and they're still going.
Hungry man. Not hashtag not an ad.
Question number 2. Black Friday is a very busy quote-unquote holiday for many people because they like to shop. However, it is also the busiest day for this company, which is not a retail company.
So it's a company that's not a retail company that Black Friday is their busiest day.
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it is the movies.
I'm gonna go with Cab Company.
I'm going to go with the American Red Cross.
No, it is actually Roto-Rooter. It's for the major plumbing service Roto-Rooter.
Oh, okay.
Do I get a half point because it is like, based on things probably leaving the body?
Oh, don't you try to snake a point there.
If somebody had said plumbing, I would have given it to them, but
Plumbing. Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. I'm sorry.
He's sitting there just going, ah.
Too much turkey. Oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh,
God dang it, Craig.
all right. Question 3. Thanksgiving Eve is the biggest what?
I know this one actually. And I'm first.
Burke, do you know it?
Is the biggest blank
Yeah.
Correct.
Wednesday.
I'm pretty sure Brian and I have a good idea of what. I know
Yeah,
what he's going to say
I-
at least.
Yeah, I know
The
the
biggest
answer.
bar night.
Yep, bar night of the year.
Yes, the correct answer is drinking night, even bigger than St. Patrick's Day or New Year's Eve.
That's right.
So,
Really?
funny quick story about this. A
Why?
couple of years ago, when I was doing a Black Friday prep shift at work, so my Friday prep shifts are like 12 hours long sometimes. And so I was leaving the store at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I forget, some ridiculously late time. And I guess I was kind of swerving a little bit. So, of course, being the biggest drinking night of the year, there's a lot of cops out. And he pulled me over and he's like, "Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I had my stuff ready already. And I guess he just immediately figured out that I was sober. And he's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, I just pointed to my name tag and I was like, "I was just there for 13 hours. And I was just kind of like so defeated. And he was just like, "Take a minute, calm yourself, take a deep breath, and drive home safely." And he let me go. But I always thought it was super funny because he was like really worried that I was drunk, but it was just because I was really tired.
That's awesome.
Hey, getting out of tickets is an art form. I'm glad that he let you go, though.
Mythbusters did prove that it's more dangerous to drive really tired than buzzed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just as bad or worse.
Yeah, just as bad or worse, yeah.
All right. Thanksgiving is ranked as America's blank most popular holiday.
Is that a number?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's a number. Third.
Second.
I was going to go with third as well.
So Burke gets the point because it is second following Christmas.
Nice.
Oh, I thought there was going to be something that beat it. I knew
thought
Christmas
too.
was number one,
Yeah, I
but
thought so too. I thought there was going to be something in between there somehow.
for sure. Like, people like me, diehard Halloween guys, or like maybe Easter people, whatever. But
Or the
I was thinking
American
like-
people who are 4th of July.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking 4th of July was going to end up being up there for some reason.
No, that's
Yeah.
the fourth most. I'm so sorry. Okay. Bad joke.
boom, boom, boom.
You beat me to it. I was muted and I was trying to do it and I forgot I was muted. Damn you.
Sorry.
Oh, shit.
Approximately how many people watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on television each year?
Add
Well,
one
not-
for me.
I would say, well, not
One out
Brian
of
before like
4.
1999 or something.
I'm going to guess, I don't know, 400,000 people watch it.
I'm going to guess 10 million.
I'm going to go with 5,011,011 people.
Okay, so Burke is the closest at 50 million.
Dang.
Wow.
Apparently 50 million people watch that parade.
Wow. What is ad time like on that?
It's
No,
never
dude,
thought about
it's
the ad time on the
It's
Macy's Day.
Exclusive. Like the Macy's Day Parade is such a big production, dude. Like my 400,000 thing was
But
way
I think,
under.
like I said, I know so many people who turn it on but aren't really paying attention. So even though the numbers are that high, do you think it's really effective?
I mean, we don't just call it the parade. We say the Macy's Day Parade, so we all know the name Macy's. Even though that hasn't been as,
All right. On Thanksgiving Day, the average American will consume how many calories on average?
Holy shit. I'm going to guess 3,500.
Damn, dude.
2,800.
3,501.
Fuck you.
That was
the
literally
answer.
my number. I go 3,500 in my head. And you go, oh, 3,500. I was like, well,
5,600 minutes.
What did Burke say?
2,800.
So Craig is closest. Price is Right rules here. It is 4,500. So on average, they will eat 3,000 for their meal and an additional 1,500 for the snacking throughout the day.
oh my gosh.
That
So
hurts.
Craig beat me by one little point there, huh?
Yeah, 1 calorie.
Yeah, it sucks,
Sorry,
doesn't it,
there's
Brian?
so much salt in my mouth right now. It's unbelievable.
All right. The average long distance Thanksgiving trip is how many miles?
The average long distance, meaning that these are just
Yeah, so
exclusively
people
long
who-
distance people.
Yeah, people who make trips for Thanksgiving.
U.S. based?
I'm assuming so.
Yeah,
it's
it seems-
a U.S. holiday.
Yeah.
Just, never mind.
Yeah. I was about to
Sorry,
say, I'm
okay.
like,
Canadian Thanksgiving.
Australian
That already
Thanksgiving is the
happened.
best. Well, I want to guess 300 miles.
I'm going to guess 800 miles.
And I would walk 500 miles.
Brian, you said 300?
Correct.
Okay, so you are the closest. It's 214.
Nice.
And it's edged out only by Christmas, which is 275.
Thanks for ruining that one on the Christmas quiz.
You'll forget by then.
I will, and we're going to ask it anyway.
Now a Thanksgiving dinner staple, cranberries were actually used by Native Americans for 2 different purposes. What were they?
I'm going to say medicine and paint.
Yeah, I was going to go with dyes and medicine.
We'll go with dyes and ammo for slingshots for children.
So, Craig and Burke would get 2, and Burke and Brian would get 2, and Craig would get 1. So they used it to treat arrow wounds and to dye clothing.
Because everybody knows if you're shot with an arrow, cranberry, you're like, oh,
Just
I can really go for
slap
some
some cranberries on that.
well,
Honey,
you know,
get the cranberries. I cut myself shaving this morning.
The sad part is that she says it like, you know, like putting it on it. And in my head, it's like he's just laying there. It's like can of corn, but he's eating the cranberries. He's like, this will fix it if I eat this. Like, I don't know why.
I was imagining like there's a slice open and he's just got the cranberry and he's like just putting it inside the wound.
That's so gross.
Not like smearing it or anything, just like whole. It stays in there. It's just a little bulb.
Oh,
I should have gone around giving cranberries out to people in Skyrim.
Nice. As a whole country, Americans eat roughly how many pounds of turkey on Thanksgiving?
As a country?
Well, not 26 tons. We know that.
I mean, oh God, how many? What's even the population of the U.S. at this point? Does anybody know?
318 million.
318 million. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say for pounds of turkey, 150 million pounds worth. Sure, I don't know math.
Do you want tons or pounds? Or does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
150,000 tons. I don't know. No, let's go 100,000 tons. Seems a lot, but yeah.
I'm going to go with 11 pounds.
As a whole country.
As a whole country.
I'm playing Price is Right's rules still in my head.
Wow.
So Burke said what? 100,000 pounds or tons?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 200,000 pounds. So Brian is the closest.
That's 300 million. Or
Wait, how?
Times 2,000 pounds. 100,000 tons.
Oh, right. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, wow, you're right. Okay, so you are the closest. It is 535 million pounds.
Damn. Yeah,
That's
now
all
you
right.
guys wonder. I'm not fretting myself over trying to math that out. I'm just going to say 11 and move on with my life.
Well, I was thinking like I was like, okay, I know this is bad, but like here's how I was trying to figure it out. I was thinking like, all right, if there's four people per household and each turkey is 12 pounds, like trying to like how many people are in this country and trying to like math it out. Then I just said, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna guess.
I thought about the 150,000 was basically one turkey or 1 pound per person is kind of what I went with.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep.
All right. In what year was the first Thanksgiving football game?
There's football.
Jeez. First football game occurred in 1950. Why not?
1935.
I'm just going to go with 1961.
Okay, so Burke is closest. It's
Fuck you all.
1876.
What year?
1876.
1876?
Yeah,
How could?
just because it wasn't on TV doesn't mean it didn't occur, Brian.
Oh, that's horseshit. I was thinking at first the thing was I wasn't even thinking about I was thinking radio at a minimum, and I was thinking like it had to be post World War II because they wouldn't have had anyway, whatever. That makes sense, I guess, but still.
If it's not on TV, it doesn't exist.
That's right. If the internet didn't say it. Oh wait.
That makes me the best football fan here. Just saying.
Oh God.
What city has the nation's oldest Thanksgiving Day parade? And bonus if you can name it.
Please say the Detroit Parade.
Detroit, and it's America's greatest Thanksgiving Day parade, baby.
Let's go with Boston, and I have no idea.
And it's more than a feeling parade.
Yes.
I love it.
I love it.
Oh, that hit me right in the right spot. Oh, wow. Sheesh. If you didn't say the Detroit one, I was going to say the Detroit one.
I got to go with Drunk Santa.
We're going to go with the Tuscaloosa parade, and it's going to be the Tusca Let Loose Your Turkeys parade.
I love that one.
You are all wrong. It's actually Philadelphia.
Really?
It started in 1920 with the Gimbel's department store, and it's now known as the 6ABC IKEA Thanksgiving Day Parade.
That's why I don't know it. The name's not really catchy.
Let's slap on some more sponsorships on this. The DraftKings ABC6 IKEA Bud Light Parade.
Long before the Pilgrims, Native blank celebrated the longest Thanksgiving in the world, which lasted how long?
Before the Pilgrims.
So you name the people and how long the Thanksgiving celebration was.
Native Mayans, and it lasted for 2 years.
Let's go with Cherokees. 3 days.
I'm going to go with the Dutch, and we're going to say it was an 11-day event.
Okay, so none of you are right about the people. It's actually Hawaiians. And playing by number rules, Craig is the closest because it was a 4-month-long celebration from November to February, and during that time they could not work or go to war.
Wow.
Wow.
Can we go to that?
Was that the one where like there was what was his name? Shoot, I can't remember what the name of it was a European captain who got marooned on Hawaii. Is that the one?
I'm not sure. The celebration's called Makahiki.
Okay, all right, I was just curious. There was a famous explorer guy who basically got washed up there, and he was like, he partied with them for that celebration, and he kept thinking they think we're gods, and they're like, no, we're just partying, dude. Like you're just here, and they ended up killing him. But anyway,
all right, and my last question of the night. When was the tradition of Black Friday started?
Is too soon an answer. No, Black Friday
As someone who
started.
works in retail, I can definitely say that that's a great answer.
Black Friday started in the 90s. I'm saying it's more of a recent thing. Sure, why not?
Oh, let's go with my football answer. Treated me nice. 1935.
I'm gonna go with 1997.
Okay, so Burke is right in the middle. It was, I don't have the exact year, but it's the 1930s.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Burke, every time you say 1930, you come up with an answer. Like, don't. Like, just no.
Wow. Okay.
That's ridiculous. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess that's it. So does that mean that Burke wins because of 1930, or how does that? Or
Pretty
what are
much.
the numbers there?
Pretty much. So we had I win with 7 points.
Ooh, well done.
Thank you. Craig comes in second place with 4.
What?
What?
And Brian also comes in second place with 4.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
Oh, shit, do we have to have a tiebreaker?
I think we need a tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker.
Okay. Let me see if I can find one.
Oh, I got this.
In the Simpsons holiday spur,
Yes,
Thanksgiving
I got
special.
this.
Okay, all right, I have it. Which president established Thanksgiving as a national holiday?
I think it was Teddy Roosevelt.
Just to make sure there's a winner, I'll go with something else, even though that was literally going to be my answer. I'm going to go with Franklin Roosevelt.
Can I answer?
Okay. Yeah,
Can I
go
answer?
ahead. Go ahead.
The 16th president.
Lincoln?
Yes. He's
It was
correct.
Lincoln?
So tiebreaker failed.
Okay.
Burke really wins.
But I knew who the 16th president was. That should count for something. Half a point, quarter. I'll take .01.
I gotta find another one now.
Do you have a number-based quiz? Because the number one, someone's going to win.
That's true. Let me see if I can find. Oh, okay. Here's one. The Butterball Turkey Hotline answers how many questions every November and early December?
Are you serious? They answered 300,000.
I'm going to go with 11, Bob.
I'm going to go with 1 million, but my answer's excluded.
Just 11, Craig. They get
Yes,
11
they're very
hotline calls.
lazy. Yes, they don't have a lot of calls. They don't want to pay for long distance, so it's just people in the area.
So I mean, technically, you're still closest.
No!
It's 100,000.
Are you?
Oh my goodness.
Wait, what? What? He wins with 11.
Greg wins
Price is Right
Thanksgiving.
ruled.
Greg wins Thanksgiving.
This is what you. Okay, kids, if you're taking notes at home, don't try. Just say 1930 and 11, and apparently you win every fucking quiz, and you make the other guy seem like an asshole. I mean, that's clearly the lesson here.
That's all you got to do. And then afterwards, you
Ryan's
just sit.
just a little bitter because he got dunked on.